the opposition was really too hard on the former president and his party, Kanu, and he said he was very expressed confidence that Kanu will be a party to be to watch out, and he said Kanu will rule for 100 years. This particular time, the opposition was not united, and Kanu whipped the opposition in 1992 and 97. Before then, Kanu lost power in 2002 elections when President Mwai Kibaki was elected on a Kenya ticket. There is another famous quote here: "Siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya." This was a quote that was made by the former president. He used to remind Kenyans on every single occasion that came to his mind that they should practice mature politics, free of tribal hate, free of nepotism. This siasa mbaya maisha mbaya also came as a famous quote during the multi-party clamor after we adopted a multi-party democracy. He said he warned Kenyans to be very, very wary of politics and not to divide the country along ethnic or tribal lines as they engage with that. And there is this famous quote here: kama iko mtu ametukana mimi na msamehe, na kama yuko mtu ambaye nimesema kitu imeumiza roho yake, naomba msamaha. This was the last this quote was made during the his last Jamhuri Day as the President of the Republic of Kenya on 12th December 2002, just a few days before the country went for the national polls of that particular year, where he was supposed to hand over power. So this last official statement he made as the head of state. Then there is another quote here: uongozi ni zaidi ya urafiki. Uongozi ni zaidi ya urafiki. This statement was made in Mount Elgon, Kapsokwony. This is when that's when he had identified his heir apparent, the current president Uhuru Kenyatta, and he was telling those who were eyeing for that position to succeed him, saying that he had identified his heir apparent was Uhuru Kenyatta that time, and he said uongozi ni zaidi ya urafiki, and this was referring to his former president, then the late Professor George Saitoti, whom when they were making this particular issues, they said that maybe that's when we see maybe a VP, it could not be possible to succeed to come on board. There is another matter here that this particular quote: pesa haiwezi kutatua shida zako zote, lazima uombe Mungu pia atakusaidia kwa shida zako. These was some of those some of those extortions, words of wisdom that the late president used to exhort wananchi about to ensure that they lead a life of integrity. And then there is another one here: mara kwa mara na waambia nyinyi, pandeni viazi, maharagwe, mahindi na kadhalika ili muwe na chakula cha kutosha. A very famous quote in these early period of the presidency in the 80s through 90s, where he encouraged Kenyans to boost agriculture. And we saw here there were even many songs made to that particular call, where people were told to really engage to ensure that they boost agriculture and we have food security. No wonder this time around, as we see, and during the President Uhuru Kenyatta's second term, he's taken food security and nutrition as one of the 4 pillars of the Jubilee administration. It was a matter that the late President Daniel Moi used to exhort the country to ensure that we have food security. At that time, we had extension officers moving across every breadth of this country, every village, educating farmers on how to grow their crops, how to do matters to do with animal husbandry. There is another quote here: tingisa kidole nione kama nyinyi ni watu ya Kanu, a famous quote that the former president used to make wherever during Kanu delegates meetings, or whenever he would make his tours across the country meeting wananchi. So he would really want to know whether they are really Kanu supporters. So he will tell them tingisa kidole. That is one finger salute for Kanu party. There is another quote here that made by the former president: the debate concerning my retirement is taking too much energy. When the right time comes, it will be my duty to hand over my national responsibilities to a younger Kenyan leader. This is the time when people, the political class had said that the former president will not hand over power, he will cling to power, and there was really, really much debate about it. Even in 2002, October, after Kanu had identified President Uhuru Kenyatta as the Kanu candidate, politicians in the opposition kept kept saying that Moi will not hand over power, that he'll use, that Kenyatta was his project, and that he will not hand over power. So this was a message that he kept on exhorting to the political class, that when the right time comes, he'll hand over power. And surely, when the right time came, and Kenyans voted in those December 2002 elections, and they voted in Mwai Kibaki as their president, we saw President Moi come and hand over power. And this also is another quote. This is my last term as a player. I would like to leave a permanent legacy in Kenya's history, a legacy of one strong and united Kenya. It is something, the legacy that we're still living, and we've seen also some of these captured in our national constitution, 2010 constitution, where it's captured in Article 10 of our constitution, matters to do with the national values, and it's part of this to ensure that there is that idea that Kenya remains a united country. There is this quote here: today I hand over the heavy burden of office. I do so with mixed feelings, since we have come a long way together. This statement was made at Uhuru Park, Nairobi, during the handing over ceremony it was on December 30th, 2002, when Moi made the handover to President Uhuru Kenyatta, his successor. It was a chaotic ceremony that time on December 30th, 2002, at Uhuru Park. We saw even members of the public, a section of members of the public, throw mud balls at the former president, and even attracting the anger of Uganda President Yoweri Museveni, who told Kenyans to really have respect for their leaders. So this was when the statement, he said that he was handing over power with mixed feelings, since we've come a long way together. He had ruled the country for 24 good years as a president, and another 12 years as a vice president. So cumulatively, about 36 years within the top two leadership position in the country. And maybe lastly, the last quote we have here is, I have known Mwai Kibaki for many years. Our political path separated in the multi-party era, but I have always respected him as a man of integrity and courage. Very, very wise words coming from former President Daniel Moi when he was handing over the baton to Mwai Kibaki, who had been elected the president of Kenya in the 2002 elections, December, that's to be the third president of Kenya. And he made this particular statement that he respected Mwai Kibaki. Kibaki moved to the opposition in 1991. That's on December, Christmas Day, or December. That is when the former president Mwai Kibaki announced his departure from Kanu to cross over to the Democratic Party of Kenya. It was on the 25th December 1991. And from then, Mwai Kibaki joined opposition politics through the election of 92, 97, and 2002. So those are some of the memorable quotes that were made by the former President Daniel Moi, whom Kenyans across the country, those who can be able to make it, are already swimming into parliament to view his body that is lying in state as they pay their last respects to the former head of state. Later on, I'll be making a crossover to another place where we'll be able to also talk to members of the public after they viewed the body, just to get to their views and get also their comments on this particular occasion that as is very, very rare, because the last time we had a similar occasion was in 1978, 22nd August, when the founding father of the Republic, Jomo Kenyatta, passed on.